In order to come up with a confidence interval for a proportion using the stats calculator, you just need to go to a different area that you haven't used thus far in the course. So under the menu here, we've got Calc menu, List Editor, Distributions, and that's all we've used so far. But then there's also Estimates and Tests. Estimates are for confidence intervals, and tests are different types of hypothesis tests, which you'll learn about soon that you can do. So if you open up the test menu, just hover over it, then it will give you bunches of options here. There's 6 main options. The one we want is a z confidence interval for a proportion. That's what we would use in this particular section. Now, when you click on that, it has the same exact functionality as the TI-83 at this point, and works in the same way. The TI-83 gives you 3 inputs, X, N, and a level of confidence, and then a calculate button. So for instance, in this example problem, a sample of 385 online consumers were surveyed, and of those, 296 indicated that they never purchase an item online with fewer than a 4-star rating out of 5 stars. While the 95% confidence interval for the population proportion of online consumers who never purchase an item rated with fewer than 4 stars. So of these variables we need to fill in, N is the number of items that are in our sample. So the number of people surveyed, which in this case was 385. X is the number of items that favor our sample out of a group. So here we have 296 that favor the event, which is to not purchase items with fewer than 4-star ratings. So 296 of those. C is, of course, our level of confidence, and that's generally pretty straightforward to find. That's, in this case, 95%, but make sure you enter that as a decimal. Now, if you hit calculate, it will come up with the bounds of the confidence interval for you, so 0.727 and 0.811. But in addition, it will give you a few more pieces of information which are a bit helpful sometimes. Like if you need the critical value that was used, if you ever need that, it will give you the critical value. It gives you the value of p hat, which is just x divided by n. It's the percent out of the sample that favor the event. And then E, which is a margin of error. It calculates that for you and outputs it as well. Now, a couple of things. If you insert the values of x and n improperly, like you just switch them, it will tell you, hey, by the way, the value of n has to be larger than x. So we can switch those back. Same thing happens on the TI calculators. It's just a little more user-friendly of an error message here. Now, next up, if you have a problem which says something like 85% indicate they never purchase an item online with fewer than 4-star rating. All right, well then 85% of our sample size, we can actually just do that calculation right here in the box. You don't have to calculate it first and then enter the answer. The stats calculator will know what you mean. It knows to do this calculation first and use that value. But the thing about that is, sometimes, well, that might not have been the case here. Let's try like 0.78. Okay, well, never mind. The thing is, if I did 0.78 times 385, I'll come over here and just get that answer. All right, so that's 300.3, which it has a decimal. The TI calculators won't allow you to input a value which provides a decimal to one of these. But the stats calculator knows that that's perfectly permissible, and so it allows that. It doesn't give an error message for that sort of thing. So that's all you need to know.